So, welcome to the session. We are now on the second session of this book, Beyond the Mind, the Golden Lotus Sutra on Meditation. So, we had gone up to page 3, we start from the last sutra. Yes, you have the book with you, I hope. The universal supreme being goes beyond religion. You may worship the deity or God with form of your choice. You don't need to change your religion. Oh, very nice. So, first of all, one thing Master is making clear that Arhatic Yoga is not related to a religion, it is not a religion. Yeah. So I think here one needs to understand there are Master is talking about two different ideas or concepts or beings. One is the universal supreme being. In the Indian system, he's also known as Brahman, or in Master's his existence of God, he refers to him as Parabrahman. Now I'm saying he, but actually he has no gender or anything like that. You could as well say she. So what Master is saying is that this universal supreme being is beyond religion. Now, then Master talks about God with form of your religion, of your choice. So what happens is that it is difficult for all of us, for most of us, I won't say all of us, but it is difficult for most of us to conceive of a formless God. You see, we are all living in this physical world. Our orientations, our sanskaras are formed where we can only relate to things that have form. Although pranic healing has made it a little bit easier, we are able to, now conceive of and relate to entities that have no form, like for example, prana. Anyway, to come back to what Master is saying, so now this construct of God with form, or the other word is deity that Master has used, this has been created by religions as a medium or as a channel or as an aid, or like they say in Sanskrit, alambana. This form, this symbol, for example, there is Lord Ram, there is Lord Krishna, there is the Ganesh images, the Hanuman images, and the images of Lord Christ, and so on and so forth. The thing is that it becomes when we use that image as a medium or as a channel to connect to supreme God, then it becomes a little bit easier for us. And also, for example, in Hinduism, there is the concept of the 33 crore or 330 million deities. Now, each of them has one or more qualities or functions. For example, Lord Ganesh. Lord Ganesh is often referred to as the destroyer of obstacles. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of that. Now, the thing to remember is that different forms, different symbols. Let's just call them symbols, because through them one is supposed to connect to Supreme God. Now, Supreme God has infinite qualities. Again, infinite becomes too much for us humans to handle. So, in Hinduism, there is this concept of 330 million deities, or Devi Devtagan, 33 crore Devi Devtagan. So, just to repeat this thing in Hindi, uh, जो पर ब्रह्मन या हिंदी में जो संस्कृत में बोला जाता है ब्रह्मन, ब्रह्मन का कोई फॉर्म नहीं है, कोई शेप नहीं है, कोई आकार नहीं है, निराकार है ना। एक शब्द आपने सुना होगा, निराकार। ये धर्म के, रिलीजन के, किसी भी संस्कृति के बियॉन्ड है, कॉमन टू ऑल, सब सारी संस्कृति, सारे धर्म, सारे रिलीजन्स के लिए के ऊपर है। सो व्हेन एनी रिलीजन, कोई भी रिलीजन जब जब एक सुप्रीम गॉड की बात कर रहा है, दे आर ऑल रिलीजन्स आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सेम यूनिवर्सल सुप्रीम बीइंग, है ना। एंड क्योंकि हमारे एज मनुष्य, हमारे लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है, क्योंकि हमारी कंडीशनिंग हुई भी है, जब तक उस चीज का कोई आकार नहीं होता हम उससे जुड़ नहीं पाते। तो वो जो हमें जोड़ने के लिए जो हमारे धर्म गुरु हुए हैं, उन्होंने उसमें अलग अलग आकार दे दिए हैं। या नाउ इसमें एक महत्वपूर्ण चीज, starting point, it is okay to worship the deity as God with form, because otherwise it is difficult, correct? But very, very important, we should not stop at that form. We should not consider the form as God. Are you understanding it? The form may be a statue, it may be an image, it may be a book, whatever. Do not consider the form as supreme God. You have to go beyond. It is a starting point. You have to go into the essence which is behind the form, which is not the form. You see, just a very simple, very rudimentary example. आपको मेरी इमेज दिख रही है आपके स्क्रीन पे, जो भी आपका डिवाइस है उस पे, यू कैन सी मी, करेक्ट? It is not me that you are seeing. You, I have a camera in front of me that is converting, the image of my face into some electronic message that is going to your device. Your device is interpreting it is and generating pixels जो आपके screen पे दिख रहे हैं. Now, the what you are seeing on the screen helps you connect to me, because otherwise, if you don't connect, then what is the point of our sitting in this session? But the real me, I mean, I'm not even talking about the soul, but the real Hemant Gupta is not the image that you are seeing. The image you are seeing is a way to connect to me. I hope this is becoming, this example is helping. So similarly, when you look at the, God with form meaning koi deity, koi devi devtagan, so that is not the end point. That is your starting point. That is how you start connecting to the universal supreme being. But you have to go beyond that. That is what you have to remember. Otherwise क्या होता है कि आप रूढ़िवादी बन जाते हैं. आप you become limited. You have you are on the path, but you have stopped. So that has to be avoided. Although Master is not talking about that as yet, but that is that is my understanding. All right, let's turn the page. Page 4, the first sutra. Understanding of God deepens your appreciation of your own religion. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, avatars, prophets, and messiahs of various religions come from the heart of God. The love aspect of God in the Hindu tradition is called the universal Vishnu. Okay, now in this one sutra, Master is giving us three different teachings. First of all, he says, understanding of God deepens your appreciation of your own religion. I think before that, one has to understand, distinguish between spirituality and religion. So, spiritual schools in general, you will find, are very, very helpful in forming the right understanding, the correct understanding, or getting the forming the right approach towards God or the divine. मतलब मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूं कि जो आध्यात्मिक शिक्षा है वो हमें ईश्वर की या प्रभु की या भगवान की या ब्रह्मन की एक सही सोच या एक सही नजरिया बनाने में मदद करती है, मोर देन रिलीजन्स. You see, because otherwise, what religions do is they will give you symbols, they will give you practices, they will give you traditions, they will give you rituals. Now, if you are coming through the spiritual school, माने पहले आप spiritual school में गए, फिर आप अपने धार्मिक उसमें गए, then you will have a better understanding of why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this? How is it helping me? How is it helping me connect to God? How is it helping my soul's evolution? Are you understanding? Otherwise, otherwise, what happens is that we tend to follow the religious symbols and practices with the wrong mindset, and it leads to the wrong attitudes. Actually, again, I would refer you to the Master's book, The Existence of God is Self-Evident. Page 12, he says there is a clear distinction between spirituality and religion. And then he discusses the differences. So my suggestion is read this, Existence of God is Self-Evident, जो किताब है उसमें page 12, page number 12. you will find this discussion by Master Choa. Okay. Now, in specifically, I would say pranic healing and arhatic yoga will help tremendously in forming the right attitude towards soul and God and divinity and so on. I don't know about you, but in my case, I used to be an atheist. And because of my science and technology background, I used to be an atheist. But it is when I got into pranic healing that I started appreciating and understanding the spiritual teachings. जैसे मैंने गीता पढ़ी थी, सो इन द गीता, गीता में एक श्लोक है जिसमें आत्मा का विवरण है ना. आई डोंट नो इफ यू आर अवेयर ऑफ दिस. In there is a shlok in the Gita where Lord Krishna describes the soul. He says it cannot be burnt, it cannot be a weapon cannot, a sword cannot cut it, fire cannot burn it, water cannot dissolve it. Something like that. पानी उसको गला नहीं सकता, शस्त्र उसको काट नहीं सकता, अग्नि उसको जला नहीं सकती. Something like that. I hope you are aware of that. Now, I couldn't, when I read that, and this was much before I went into pranic healing, I could not relate to it because at my stage of awareness, जो मेरे उस समय संस्कार थे, मैं formless को से relate नहीं कर पा रहा था. It is when I did pranic healing that I could relate to, okay, this, so what this shlok is saying is that the soul is essentially energy and it is formless. That is how it helped me. Then when you remember in your basic pranic healing class, there is this experiment where you scan the spiritual cord. Yes. Now, when I did that, it really gave me an understanding of the soul and the soul connection and what, when I change my thought, then the size of the spiritual cord changes. I don't know if you have done an experiment like that, but please do these experiments. Then it will help you understand your soul, the purpose of character development, what connects you, how the connection changes, and so on. Right? Now, the second thing Master is saying is all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, avatars, prophets, and messiahs of the various religions come from the heart of God. So, in fact, all souls come from God. I mean, there is, somewhere I think in existence of God, Master says everything is in God, God is in everything. So, everything comes from God, or even all souls come from God, right? That's why we call ourselves children of God. Now, especially the great souls, the avatars or the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, or what we can, in a word, we can call Mahatma. Maha means great. So, the great souls, they come from, that Master is saying, they are coming from the heart of God. Now, why is he saying heart of God? Because essentially they are a method for God to express love to us. You see, the primary function of love, or one of the things that love does, is it uh, it leads to preservation, it leads to nurturing, it leads to, like a mother to child. A mother has love for the child, and therefore the mother preserves, nurtures, looks after, takes care of the child. Similarly, these great souls become an expression of God's love because they come to the earth and they help us, they help humanity, they help the planet evolve. And then there are these three aspects. So then Master talks about the love aspect of God in the Hindu tradition is called the universal Vishnu. So the few next sutras will tell us there is a trinity, three aspects, three primary aspects. And the Hindu names of them are Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. So Vishnu is the love aspect. So love, light, and power. So love aspect Vishnu, light aspect Brahma. Now, not the same as Brahman. Brahman is universal supreme God. Brahma is the intelligence, the creative intelligence aspect of God. And the third being Shiva, which is the destroyer and preserver and restorer, or the regenerating power. All right. Or the will aspect, we can say. All right. The next one, let's read the next two sutras together. There will always be Trinity You are a being of divine will, divine love, and divine intelligence. Just as God is omnipotent, we have the divine power within us. Just as God is omni-loving, we are beings of divine love. Just as God is omniscient, we are beings of divine intelligence. You see, this is a very important thing to understand, that all qualities, all energies, all manifestations, they are essentially combinations of three primary divine qualities, love, light, and power. And to give you an example, white light. White light essentially is comprises of three primary colors. For example, on your screen, all the different shades you are seeing, they are being created through three primary colors. It's usually called RBG or RGB. R is red, B is blue, G is green. If you use a color printer, most printers, especially inkjet printers, they use CMY, cyan, magenta, and yellow. So these three primary colors are mixed to create all colors, including white. White breaks down into them, and all other colors, variations, shades, they are produced through the combinations of these three primary colors. Now, what Master is telling us here is that we are also made up of these three primary qualities, or three primary energies, or three primary aspects, which is divine will, divine love, and divine intelligence. Right? And that is the meaning when we call ourselves children of God. You remember the soul affirmation, I am a child of God. So, and in I think in the Christian system, there is this saying, let us make man in the image of God, or man is made in the image of God. Now, it doesn't mean that, Master, I think somewhere he talks about it. He says it doesn't mean that God also has one nose and two eyes and two ears and so on. What it means is that, like God is essentially love, light, and power, similarly, we, the soul, are also love, light, and power. Yeah. And Master has explained, just as God is omni. Now, when you see the word omni, it means infinitely, in an unlimited way. है ना? असीमित, इन हिंदी में बोलेंगे असीमित, कि जब ये बोलते हैं कि गॉड इज ओमनी पोटेंट, पोटेंट मीन्स पावरफुल, सो गॉड्स पावर इज अनलिमिटेड, इनफाइनाइट. Divine love, of course, you understand, and omniscient. Omniscient means all knowing, all knowing. So we are also beings of divine intelligence. We have the ability to learn, to apply our minds to find solutions to life situations, etc., etc. Correct? You see, in now you may have heard that there are many different schools of spirituality. Even in the Indian system, they are called darshan. So there are 6 primary darshan, but there are many, many more sub schools and subsects. They differ in their primary beliefs on us and God and the relationship between us and God. So in some of them, they say that we are Purusha, the soul is Purusha, and God then they call Purusha Vishesha. Purusha Vishesh means he is a special type of Purusha. Now, when they say Purush, it means that there is no material. There is no, it's just pure energy with consciousness. And then they say Vishesh, it means special or different or extraordinary. So, usually what they mean is that the qualities are infinite, both in variation and in quantity, and zero defects. God has no defects. Okay, let's move on. Let's read the next sutras up to the end of the chapter. The universal supreme God manifests as omnipotence, God the power, omniprovidence, God the love, and omniscience, God the creator. The universal supreme God manifests as the Holy Trinity, yet there is oneness. In the Catholic religion, God the power is called the Father, God the love is called the Son, because the Messiah meaning the avatar, Lord Christ, comes from the heart of God. Lord God, the creative intelligence, is called the Holy Spirit. In Hinduism, the Holy Trinity are universal Shiva, universal Vishnu, and universal Brahma. Again, remember, Brahma different from Brahman. Brahman is universal supreme God. Brahma here is one of the aspects, the creative intelligence aspect of supreme God. In the Egyptian inner teachings, the Holy Trinity are Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Now, this here, reminds us of one of the great, gift, or one of the great teachings of Master Choa. He has taken a lot of effort to study, research these different religions and spiritual schools, and has shown to us how they all have the same core wisdom, the same the same foundations, the same beliefs. It's just that on the same foundation, some religion created a different structure, each religion created their own structure, which looks different. But in core, in foundation, in essence, they are all saying the same things, right? So that is what, so by, through these sutras, that is what Master has talked about over here. Essentially what happens, and that is, again, I refer you back to Existence of God is Self-Evident, page 12. There Master has discussed this. We talked about it a little while ago also. One aspect that I would point you to here is God, the creative intelligence. Now, what does it mean, creative intelligence? So, that also Master has beautifully explained somewhere else, where he says that you can say creative intelligence and sterile or non creative intelligence. So, you may have come across people who are very intelligent, who have sharp minds, but they don't make productive use of it. Nothing, they do nothing. In the end, they achieve nothing. That is sterile intelligence. They will criticize, they will make great plans, they will point out flaws in everyone else's plans, but they will not actually apply their intelligence to get things done. As compared to that is creative intelligence, where this intelligence is used to create. For example, the entire creation. That is because of the creative intelligence of God. Yeah. We have a couple of minutes more. You remember from today we have moved to 30-minute sessions. Yeah. All right. So we let us affirm. I am on page 6. You see this box item. Affirm. I am an instrument of God. God is the source of all light, love, and power. God's blessing is flowing through me. My spiritual teacher's blessing is flowing through me. With thanks and in full faith. With thanks and in full faith. So this is a nice, powerful affirmation. Very, very powerful. Just I want to take your attention to the word instrument. Why has Master said instrument? Okay, we'll discuss this the next time. Instead, I wanted you to listen to Master Choa. He will lead us through I found a recording of Master where he is chanting Om Namo Parabrahman Om. And I have found this to be extremely, extremely powerful. So I thought today we can, as a group, we can listen to Master and chant with him.